You have it all. You have the success, you have the career, you have the professional status. You've built yourself up into a man on paper that should be incredibly desired by women. But yet their behavior towards you demonstrates that they think you're disposable. They don't respect you, they ghost you, they don't go on dates with you, and you're sitting here wondering, what on earth is going wrong? I've built my entire life around becoming successful for many reasons, but you and I both know one of the big ones was women. And in this video, I'm going to outline exactly where the disconnect is, why you're successful, but at the same time, that means nothing to women and what actually does. The great news is you're working on a fantastic foundation, and when you make these tweaks, your life will change forever. So let's start out by looking at you, right? You got a nice home, look at that smile on your face. You got a nice home, great income, you got a car, luxury lifestyle, professional status even in your community, in your industry. You're known as a titan. You're known as someone very respectable and accomplished. And this is status in a different category, but you have it in your career. You're probably in relatively good shape because if you're successful, you know the importance of work ethic. High IQ, definitely. You're definitely a very intelligent and logical guy. And so you have this big conundrum of where the gap is. And of course you have assets. Now, let's take a look at the stark difference in the women I'm assuming you want. Tits. Women you desire. She probably lives with roommates or is living off her family. She has average to low income. She has a 20-year finance car, probably. She has a debt lifestyle. She is beautiful though. She does have that. She is a beautiful girl and she's definitely young. She definitely has the age and she's definitely in good shape. She's definitely in good shape. No assets. And ideally not psychopathic. This is all you want. This is all men want. Even at the most successful levels, this is what men want. They don't care about any of these. Men do not give a shit. We don't care about her income. We don't care about her living situation. We don't really care what car she drives. Who gives a shit? She's beautiful, young, fit, not a crazy person. Perfect. Won't ruin my life, but is attractive. Perfect. And here's everything you bring to the table. Do you see how insanely different this is? This is what you bring to the table. This is her. And yet, they treat you like you're disposable. And here's the fundamental reason why. For you to actually understand why there's such a gap in what you bring to the table and how women treat you, you have to look at the scorecards of how men and women have different perspectives on a psychological level of what is value. Us as men, we are logic-based. We look at value as net worth, career, titles, assets, achievements, degrees, etc. Because that is concrete and that speaks to capability because we're men. But you need to get out of your male logical thinking mind and understand the female emotional based mind and how they perceive value. And in the next panel that I'm going to show you, I'm going to distill the 4 distinct ways we can do this. But you have to understand, they don't care about any of this. They don't care about any of this. As long as they're not under a bridge, and even then, sometimes they don't care. As long as they're not under a bridge, their title, don't care. Career, don't care. Assets, they don't even know what money is. Net worth, they don't even know what numbers are. Degrees, they don't give a shit. Achievements, okay, cool, fleeting emotion. This is what they actually care about. Social proof, online branding, your texting behavior, your aura, your presence frame, and your game/understanding female psychology. Because it's based and rooted in emotion. And this is why you could be a billionaire or a very rich and successful guy. You go on a date and bore the shit out of her. She's gonna go to the brokey after your date and fuck him because it's based on emotion. And none of the things you've worked so hard to achieve and what you base your value on and expect women to base it on does not convert and they don't care. This is the core fundamental problem. Now let me show you the 4 distinct ways we can hit emotional perceived value so that women are actually seeing you for the value you actually bring to the table. These 4 core variables are the reason why women see value in a guy and don't ghost him, or see no value in you even though you bring more to the table than most guys combined. This is it. This is how women operate. Number 1, online presence. You have to understand we live in modern dating. And having a good online presence is non-negotiable. You could meet a girl at the mall. You could be worth $50 million. You have an Instagram with 30 followers, you follow 1,000 people, and terrible images, she will think you're a poor homeless loser. This is how important online presence is. It is non-negotiable. You want to take a stab at online dating, you have terrible images, but you're very successful, they will not swipe, they will not match with you, they will not engage with you, they will distill your entire value based on their perception of your images and your online branding. This is how important this is. And there's no way around it. No matter what you bring to the table, they will distill the initial first impression, or if you meet them in person, whether they're gonna talk to you or not, based on how you're presented online. And almost always, there's a massive incongruence with your online presentation and your genuine value of what you bring to the table in terms of your assets, net worth, IQ, etc. Because you've been building your career and you don't think it's worth your time. You think it's stupid and juvenile and a worthless waste of energy, resources, and effort. Well, guess what? Women don't. Because the reason this matters so much is women think with herd mentality. They don't have original thoughts. They need to see social proof to make decisions. They don't have the capacity to make their own individual decision of your worth and your value. They have to see, okay, other people follow him, okay, he has some friends, okay, he's done some things, okay, I feel more certain now. They cannot create their own internal certainty without social proof. And if that's not there to give them the social proof they need, they'll never value you, they'll never respect you, and they'll never talk to you. This is how women operate on a psychological level. That's why it's so important. Number 2, aura/presence, because it's based on emotion and primal needs. That's the common theme. This is all emotional based. This is all psychology, primal needs, aura and presence. This is how you say things. This is how you stand. This is nonverbal communication. This is tonality. This is confidence. Because how women perceive an interaction with you is 90% determinant based on the nonverbal. It defines the context of how they see the interaction going. Because this spikes emotion. Words, they can, but it's not as powerful. That's 10%. 90% of how they perceive you and how you make them feel is based off your presence and your aura. And it does not matter if you have a Lamborghini, if you stutter, if you're not confident, if you don't stand with great nonverbal presence or aura. And you're like, yeah. Like, look at crypto nerds, right? They're paying for hookers. They have no presence or aura. Because this communicates to women on an emotional, subconscious level. He's powerful or he's not powerful. He can take care of me or he can't take care of me. They don't look at the money. They go off how they feel. Even so much so as the resource and the provider aspect. If you have crazy confidence and crazy aura, you could be broke. Women will feel on an emotional, subconscious level that you're a provider because they will have so much confidence in your ability to figure shit out, it won't matter the numbers. This is a big distinction. Men are like, well, women love money, they like luxury, they like knowing they're taken care of and not having all that anxiety off their plate. Absolutely. But how they determine whether you can do that for them is based on emotion, not seeing a net worth. It's based on feeling, God, he's so confident. Yeah, he can take care of me. Of course he can. I don't care what he's up to. He'll figure it out. Versus a guy with a lot of money, but nervous and anxious. No, he can't take care of me. No way. And this subconscious feeling always wins. And that's why you have to work on the inner game, the presence and the aura, the things that I talk about so heavily. Because this is unavoidable. And they can't unsee it and they can't unfeel it. Number 3, game. This is how you text women. This is the words you actually say. This demonstrates how well you actually understand women and female psychology. This is the questions you ask on dates. This is how you tease women because this spikes crazy emotion as well. And it also demonstrates to women competency. You have to understand, women determine your competency and your ability to be a leader based on emotions and how you make them feel, not based on your degrees or your masters or any boring, your knowledge about engineering, boring, your knowledge of investing, boring. They don't care. They don't give a shit. That does not mean to them that you're intelligent. That means to them, you're boring as fuck and uninteresting. That's what that means. Even if you're the most intelligent person in human history, on planet Earth, and you are going on about all this nonsense you know, they will still think you're stupid and incompetent because you don't spike emotion. Emotion is the foundation of how women perceive competency. When you know game and you can spike their emotions at will, and you're a great texter and you're great on dates and you know how to ask questions and you just have great game and you can spike that polarity, they will think you're a genius. They will think you're incredibly competent. They will think you're smart because they don't perceive competency and IQ like men do. It's entirely different. And that's why incredibly intelligent men that have terrible game are perceived as boring and losers to women, even if you have a very high IQ. It's not what they base it off of. This is why they ghost smart, rich guys. Boring. Therefore, he's a dumbass. Number 4, frame. This one's so crucial for women and how they perceive your value. This is handling her shit test. This is being a dictator slash leader. This is being willing to walk. If you're worth $100 million and you're handsome and all this stuff, if you're never willing to leave her, she thinks you have no value. She thinks you're worthless. She thinks that she can replace you easily. She thinks you're disposable. This is why people get ghosted. This is why women don't keep talking to you, even though you're very successful. Because you appeased, you went along with her shit test, you didn't hold your frame, you did not behave in a congruent manner with your actual value. This is like the core principle of this video. Everything you do as it pertains to women and who you are and your online and your frame has to be absolutely congruent with your genuine real life value and with an abundance of women. This is the problem. Because women can sniff out scarcity. So if you're very successful, but you have a scarce amount of women and your dating life sucks, and it comes out in your aura and your online presence is trivial and your game sucks and your frame sucks, that's all they do. That's all they look at. And so as a result, you have no value. As a result, ghosted, not talking to you, stringing you along, HR text, friend zone, not sleeping with you, not tonight, not today, I like to take it slow, all this bullshit. Even though you bring so much on the physical table, this is all that matters. This is it. And this is a skill set you have to learn. And you have to see the massive gap holding you back. The massive gap is thinking women think like you. They perceive reality and they perceive your value entirely differently than you ever could imagine. And so if you have no frame, and if you go along with whatever they say, you don't put your foot down, you don't walk away, because you're obviously operating in scarcity because you have no other women, they'll now see you as a loser. You have a Ferrari outside, but you'll never walk away and you give her whatever she wants. They see you as a loser. This is it. When you actually align and have congruency in your online presence, your game, your frame, and your aura with your genuine value of the things you bring to the table in your success, you have the power. You dominate dating, you dominate women, you could have whatever it is that you want, but you have to attain these skill sets. Or you will keep in this cycle of being so confused because you're wealthy and good looking and high IQ, and yet you get ghosted. And you say, oh, women are evil, it's modern women, it's feminism. No, you just don't understand how they operate, and you're not curating value based on emotion, because it's not based on logic for women. If you want me to implement this for you, if you're a successful guy that is like, I understand all of this, but now I want implementation help in real time with nuanced situations for your dating life, click the link below to apply with me to work with me one-on-one. This is exactly what I will help you master. I'll see you in the next video.